Good evening and welcome to our February Parish Council meeting. This meeting is live on Teams and being video recorded, probably encrypted. First, I'd like to offer Councillor Andrew an apology for the draft everyone saw for my introduction to the leaflet. It was accidentally sent out, which is my fault for not being clear enough at the time to the clerk. Unfortunately, I was dealing with more pressing matters. The introduction has been and will be edited further, but makes no mention of any individual going forward. We are in a pre-election period of sensitivity. That used to have a special name, but apparently that means something somewhere else in the world when I use it. So I would ask all councillors to avoid mentioning candidates, causes they may have advocated, and to tread carefully tonight. Please nudge me if I slip up. Some good news is the agenda is much shortened. The following motions: 26 to 5, 16, 17, 18 and 19 have been withdrawn. Items 26 to 14, which is grants, and 26 to 26, judicial review, and 26 to 27, which has been entrance update, are in quorum, so are also removed. So basically, none of the plans are still there because we're all allowed to. And grants, because you and I can't do it. There is an election tomorrow, so comments of candidates and their associates are not permitted. I'd like to offer all candidates my appreciation of having the courage to stand. Good luck to all of you. We haven't received any written questions, so we can't. Oh, sorry, we have one written question which Amy's got a response for, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunately not much response really. So I think Howard has asked about the release of the results of the housing development survey. The councils will be going through it today through the confidential item. They can't make any decisions on it because of the pre-election period of sensitivity. So at the next meeting, they'll be deciding how that's going to work, basically. So unfortunately, I can't give you Can I just say, there is an item on the agenda about the leaflet, which I've put on because it was explicitly resolved at the last meeting that it would be on this agenda. But I am going to strongly advise that someone proposes that it's deferred to next meeting because I do think that falls into further, pre-election period sensitivity issues, because publications are the main thing that are criticised. So I think, for the sake of delaying it 1 month, although saying that may still be in pre-election period sensitivity in March because we've got the other position. I don't know the dates yet for that. So if we could defer that until we're not in a period of that would just be my request. But I can't force, but I'm strongly requesting.
Okay, next we will hear from some members of the public that are in attendance. We've got to remind you, you can only speak once and you have up to 3 minutes. We have a maximum of 15 minutes total. If I, as chair, stop you, that is it. Please only speak when I select you and do not get up and wander around. All questions are to be directed to the chair and the clerk, and we will answer as best we can, but as we've not had a chance to prepare answers, it may well be the case we will have to get back to you, which is a choice you've made by not submitting questions in advance. Thank you.
Chair, it's really a question to all councillors and also to our clerk. Thank you very much for putting the budget on the website, which I have looked at in detail. One of the things which I was concerned when looking at the budget is that it gives no indication of what the outturn figures are. possibly going to be continuous until the end of the year. There are various things which will be continuous, but it doesn't give you any idea of what will be at the end of the year. And I speak from an experience where I moved as head of the school, where a member of staff was not committed onto the system. As a result, we were going to go into a deficit and we had to make somebody redundant. So actually knowing the outturn figures is really important, so that councillors, when they're looking at spending, can actually decide, reasonably what is available. So can I ask that maybe, do you know what the outturn figure is yet?
Not off the top of my head. I mean, when I've done the budget, I've had that in mind of kind of where we're going to get to. But I think it's a good point, and I think I will add that on to the next one. I'll put it on explicitly.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Okay, moving on. Apologies for absence. We have apologies from Councillor Artis, Councillor Hunt, and Councillor Barker.
Neil Brief, he may turn up. He's actually going away tomorrow and is trying to finish his council business before he goes.
Thank you. So next we have declarations of interest.
Declaration of interest for the judicial review. I'm not sure if there's anything else that's relevant to me this evening.
I was going to say my usual, but with the withdrawal of the Flower Festival, I didn't think there's nothing else in there.
Okay. I have a non-registrable interest in matters relating to the judicial review, should that crop up at all, and our registrable interest as a trustee of the HBO Sports and Community Club. Right. Minutes of the previous meeting. We'll look at the minutes. Anyone got anything not seen anything committed?
There was nothing recorded under public questions, but you just answered Nick Howard's question.
There weren't any actual written public questions at the last meeting.
Do we not record anything under public participation?
Yeah, the policies say just to know whether there's any one. I mean, I've got the notes of a couple of things that have actions on, our policies say that we need to, our policies say we need to know whether there was a session or not. So, in the spirit of trying to keep the minutes as concise as I can, that's what I put. But obviously, that's in our gift to.
Yeah, I'm sure that we used to have apologies if, it's not something that's desperately needed, but I was thinking if there are questions raised and answers are given, then by including that information it might preclude other people from having to make that effort, so it might stop any duplication of effort going forward.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. It's also a lot, isn't it, of what was talked about.
I mean, for this meeting, I could add a brief. I mean, I didn't note fully because I wasn't intending to do full notes on it. So I could either edit this one or just going forward, put more details.
Well, you're going to answer it, so why not answer it in the
No,
minutes
she
of this
missed one
one?
that edit last month.
Yeah, that's what I mean, answer it in the minutes of this one. Today.
Oh, I see, so you mean retrospectively.
Yeah,
Just say
So-
the last one.
yeah, in answer to Mick Harris' question at the last meeting,
Oh, so maybe,
That was
Mixed questions for this meeting.
the next question was this meeting, so
Fair enough,
that
that's
would be
it.
published anyway.
yeah, but I guess maybe we could next month maybe publish from
Yeah, I mean, I could do today.
January,
Yeah, I
and just say from January, just add it in, and then just do it maybe going forwards. That'd be quite a good, just a bullet point.
thank you.
Okay, can I have if there's nothing else on the minutes, can I have a proposal? And second list? All those Reports from district councillors. Councillor Reid, please.
Thank you, Chair. I don't have a lot. Sorry, don't have a lot to report. As you are aware, I've actually been away myself. The main thing which you may or may not know about is the district plan. We have now received notification from the MP in charge of housing, whatever it is, Mr. Pennicott, and we have been granted permission to put the local plan into place. That needs to go through a process. It needs to go to Cabinet first of all to agree. It needs to go to scrutiny to agree, and then it will go to full council to agree. And we are expecting it to be in full council in a special meeting in March, towards the end of. There's no set date yet. But what it does mean at the moment, as it stands, because we have permission to put it in place, any planning application that doesn't correspond with the local plan will be very hard to get through. So that prevents a lot of the speculative applications that we've been getting over the last 6 years. And I'm open to any questions from the council.
Councillors, anything from you?
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Could I ask a question of Jeff?
Probably not at the moment.
Not a quick one?
I'll see you later.
All right, fair enough.
Reports of council actions and meetings attended.
Very helpful, very informative, and thank you.
Very well done. Councillor.
Advanced council.
Advanced councillor. Advanced councillor. No,
So do we have to doff our cap now?
No, that's over to Maureen.
Ah, got that now.
But thank you for voting through the payment to enable me to go. I found it very useful, and I will consider it and put any information out in due course.
No, Chairman, no.
Okay, the next thing is the clerk's report.
I don't think I've really got anything that isn't covered by other items. No, I think it's all covered, because I've been mainly looking at the trees, but we've got a specific item on the tree works, so I can talk about that over here.
Highways matters, is there anything that isn't coming up?
I have something to report. You will recall that I raised the issue on Hammond Road. Councillor Barker, I saw her actually, and so it became a matter of discussion between us, because she said to me, I see they haven't done anything yet. So she has taken the matter forward to Essex, and they are booking in the work to be done, but because it may require part of the road to be closed, it probably will be a 12-week minimum turnaround on that, but hopefully that will mean that the water run down the road will be solved.
Thank you for that. Did you all see the speed watch information that was sent through? Good, okay, we'll hopefully be able to that. Right, okay. On the next agenda.
This is the
Yeah,
bigger information.
we'll put that on for information at the next agenda, and then possibly.
Can I ask a question? The post that you did quotes for.
Oh, yes, so we have to get to Essex Highways.
Yeah.
I've not heard back from them directly, but I've asked around some other clerks, and they've said all their quotes have come in between sort of £200 and £400 to get a post installed. It's quite consistent
then we can start to move
Yeah.
that along on the vehicle speed side.
Yeah, I've actually had an email from her about an hour ago. We will be invited to a Teams meeting for further discussions.
Lovely.
And it's given us some companies to research for buying the post. I will look into it.
Thank you.
That's for, putting temporary in place.
There's
Speed
BAS.
checks.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, long term, we hope to have permanent VAS on Cannon Road and repair or replace the ones on Dunmow Road, which work intermittently through efforts with Councillor Barker. The one on Feathers Hill has been replaced and I believe it's working.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not going to say it is in case then it makes it look like it's not. So it's a slow process, but we seem to be getting a little bit further forward.
The Dunmow Road one seems to work and go out. Nothing coming.
One side, isn't it?
I've got a feeling that the solar panel is not
Probably
strong enough.
not enough sun.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, anything else on highways? Bush End Ward, Councillor Webb.
Now, I don't want your villages being put out, but the highways were gathering under the old railway bridge at the end of the street before you get into Takeley to cure the water problem. So they were ganging up this morning and then they all went home, I think. So everyone in the village got, in hands got excited. No, well, because they'd actually shut the road, so they were all going out back up to the 183, and then they all went home. But, at least we know it's happening. But it was open again tonight, so, but don't get jealous, because we've been waiting for that a long time. That's all, yeah.
Village Ward. So the first thing is, we've had a tree survey. And we've all seen the tree survey. There's one tree that's highlighted on it that is that is not on our part, the Ambulance part. So I think we need to notify Highways about that, and that's T34. I can't remember what it is. It's the last tree going along. It's highlighted on that report along the Ambulance part. So that's clearly as in our responsibility is that I think Tanglewood. That's Tanglewood. And from there on, it's not us. Highways. But I think that one was read.
So that one needs to be reported to assess.
Yeah. So the plan is to report that one. Have we had quotes for the rest of the work?
Yes, so for all of the works in the tree survey, so I'll go back and figure out about that tree. So we've had one quote for £980, that's not including VAT, and one quote for £1,800, so quite a gap between them. I was hoping to get a third one today, but I haven't heard Yes. Yeah, there's 600 for the recreation ground, which is what this one will be. So it's not going to be massively over. But we've got quite a lot. There's still nearly £1,500 in general repairs and maintenance for the rec. So in general, that budget is okay.
And there's a little bit left in the East Park budget, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
300.
Okay. So that hopefully then should just about come in under that.
Yes.
Okay, are we happy with the suggestion that we go with the lower of those two quotes as the limit? Can I have a proposal for that? Councillor Webb, can I have a seconder? Councillor Amber, show of hands, all those in favour? Carried. Right, the next one is to consider the tree works request on Dunmow Road that's been presented.
So this one's a little bit more complicated. I haven't got any fixed quotes for this at the moment because essentially we would have to have traffic lights to close the road in order to do the work because there isn't really a verge or anything for them to go on. So I spoke to some of the tree surgeons on the phone just to try and get a ballpark figure, and they said the traffic lights on their own would be about 1,000. And then the trees are very tall, so it's not going to be less than 2,000. So this is the other thing. It's kind of, she hasn't been specific of which trees, so it's just sort of the ones opposite where she is. But they've said it's significant working at height and stuff like that. So personally, I think it's going to come in at 2,000 or 3,000 at the end of the day. So my professional opinion would be, I don't think that's very good value for money, considering that the trees we are responsible for are coming in over 1,000. But I do feel for her, and we did originally say that we would do the work. However, we were doing the work anyway, so the traffic light cost would have been paid anyway, if you see what I mean. So it would have just been an add-on, whereas now it's a standalone job, it's a bit more expensive. And we would have to get permission to do the work because they're not our trees.
Whose trees are they?
Well, that's if we don't do it, I would have to say to her, you need to go and chase the landowner. That would be. I don't think she's had any success. Just that they've not been maintained. I think she said that there's dead wood falling, which is her main concern. I think she's mostly concerned about things falling on her house, which I think is a fair concern. But also, obviously, there's cars going past and things like that. But that was her concern. And we did agree to do it. Originally, previous clerk told her that because there was a crow's nest in one of the trees, they weren't able to go ahead. However, none of that tree work actually went ahead, so it wouldn't have happened in the end anyway, if you see what I mean. So it's a bit of a dilemma, because I do feel for her, but yes, it's also quite a bit of money.
Well, the other thing as well is that you also set a precedent as well.
Well, we're not technically in that obviously you would still have the full discretion every single time, but it makes it a bit more difficult to say no in the future, especially if more trees on that same stretch have a problem, because they're kind of in a no man's land. We used to, when we surveyed them before, we weren't formally responsible for them, but it's just because we had the village green and they were on the boundary, we did it. But even then, they weren't technically our responsibility. So it's never been a strong.
Mr. Goslin's been having a tidy up in Collier Street of trees in the last month. So because he's very proud of his trees, and one of them in particular has had a real charm. So I'm surprised if he's got one there that he's missed.
I think it's just the sort of stretch. They're just along the wide road, but they're not. It's because it's very high. So it sounds silly, but when you drive past, you wouldn't notice that there's anything wrong because it is, great thing here. But clearly she's noticing. But yeah, so my opinion would be if it had been 200, 300 rather than lose considerably more than our own obligations, it starts to unfortunately tip the other way. But so obviously it's completely your decision.
I agree with that, to be honest. I would have thought, so I looked at the price for temporary traffic lights and we've been doing works on the highway and I've been quite a minimum £60. It's very expensive.
Anyone else? Anything to add?
I think you should ask Mr. Gosling.
Yeah.
It's his land. And it should be his responsibility.
No, because it's just to consider.
Yeah.
So are there an action to pass on Mr. Wilson?
Okay, the recreation ground, we've had the monthly playground report from Kevin Beadle. Has everyone had a chance to have a look at that?
Yeah, I've had a look at that. I've also looked at the tree survey. And that's a great cause for concern because TMA have noted asbestos being dumped in the corner of the wreck. So, and also the repairs that are needed to be done on the equipment that's still there. And I wondered whether we could get quotes for the equipment that we've already got to be repaired and also a quote for the removal of that asbestos.
Yeah, so I should mention.
Yeah, we've already actually been quite familiar with that. I think it was around, apparently a lot of the old bank on the side of the brook had asbestos on it. They used it to shut up the sides at one point. I've been told by people that have done that, whether that's right or wrong, I don't know.
I just think we need
But
to get that
it's
removed.
been there for a long time, you can see it. It's not something done as in recently, it's all overgrown.
I didn't know it was there.
No.
I think we should need to get that removed.
That is already actually comes under managing radar for new house, class house.
So, quote to repair existing equipment. I mean, I can get a quote. I imagine it would be quite a lot. Because play equipment is surprisingly expensive in all ways. But I mean, it wouldn't hurt to at least know.
I think that we would need to look at this in an informed manner. If the playground equipment needs repair, we don't want any children to be injured using it.
But we've had also a report.
Yeah, so what I'm going to say was, I know we've had the Rossiter report, but it would be good to be informed how much it would cost to have it properly repaired, and then we can compare that to how much it would cost to replace the equipment and make a plan.
Yeah, I can put action to get some quotes.
Everyone else happy with that?
There's nothing at the moment that's suddenly got.
No, it's been, it's okay.
Where is it?
You know, it's okay enough.
Councillor Beadle had some wood to do some repairs. Was that bit done?
I don't think he's received it yet. I will follow up with him to.
Because it would be useful to clarify whether the bit that
I
has
think
been
he's
done.
installed, that bit was installed, the timber that he received.
Yeah.
I think it's,
We
This is
were waiting
something
for
new.
some other.
this is something, there was a new piece.
We did play all these, didn't we? And yeah, perhaps we can clarify with him.
Yeah, I'll check, because I'm sure he'll have finished it off.
We've got to contact them about how it's. And talking we need to appoint a councillor to be responsible for the recreation ground for the March meeting. Anyone else happy with that?
So, yes. So I didn't hear properly.
It's a new year.
No, you must have been.
2011.
So,
Yes.
yes.
And I'm happy to do that. Yeah.
Okay. Right, favour? Carried. See, right, we've not doing grants, we can't. The Parish Council information sheet has been suggested because we are in what they now call the pre-election period of sensitivity, that we should defer this until we're not in a period of pre-election sensitivity. I'm happy to propose that. All those in favour do so.
Yes, I would like
Yeah,
it to defer.
Councillor Wood.
I would like it to defer. The comments were not mine, so.
Right, skip through page 3. Planning. We've received some applications. I've had nothing from the planning committee or working group about those. Has anyone got any comments about the applications we've received? No? Moving on to payments. Seeing the payment schedule, anything that we need to vote on? These are all standard monthly payments that have already been processed, all previous motions.
I have a question. Previous meeting you said that you were going to get a breakdown of Burkett's costs to us. I've seen the breakdown of Bradton's
Yeah.
costs, but not on Burkett's.
Yeah, those payments haven't been processed yet, so I'll send you the full breakdown I've had from them. It's sort of
Sorry,
managed.
you said they've not been processed
No,
yet, 'cause you
so-
put payments made to
So they've been put, yeah, so when I did this, they were due to be processed. But one of the other banking people has also asked for a breakdown, so they are still not paid. So I will recirculate the, I'll circulate the very detailed breakdown. But they took 9 months to invoice us, so I'm in particular.
Apologies, I skipped the bank balances.
So we've got £58,754.69 in the main Lloyd's current account. We've got £138.24 in Unity Trust current account, and £24,153 in the savings. There's a slight movement there, so I'm moving £100 from savings into current, because there's some direct debits that come out of service charges. And I've calculated now, we've got just over £5,000 of VAT to kind of, which I might as well do at the end of March now that we're in February. So I'll do that.
And another one for you, to note the precept.
Yep, so I submitted the precept form last Friday last week. So it was the higher figure. The precept form is, I haven't circulated it, it literally just says the number there. It was £151,455, which is an 89% increase. I can circulate the form if you like, but it literally just says that and then my signature. There's no extra information. But yeah, so that has now been submitted, and I know the 9th was when they were actually processing it.
Can I ask one other question while we're talking about finance? On the budget, there's an amount for litter,
Yeah.
and there's an amount quoted under the village green for 381.
Yes.
It's an allowance, so we've not paid anything
No,
out,
so-
but should that now be removed?
No, so this is where it's a little bit confusing. So for the VAT return, I can't split the invoice for the litter collections, so they're all grouped under one. So we have already paid £381 before the transfer, so that's why there's an allowance for it. It's just unfortunate how the budgets are laid out, but that is how much it cost up until the end of June. So there won't be anything further going on in there, but that's why it's all grouped under the village litter budget at the moment, and I need to work out how I can present it better. But yes, I can't split them for VAT return.
Finance. items for the next agenda, to review the meeting date, I think that's a bit premature, we will like to talk about more full councils on board.
Can we agree that by email then between us?
No, dates have to be set by resolution.
Oh, you mean for the next meeting?
Yeah, so this is in March.
Sorry.
So in March, the second week of the month still works because we've had such a high turnover.
Oh, okay, so in the March meeting we'll have that on the agenda?
Yes.
Okay, that's right, that's right. We obviously appoint a councillor to be a representative for the recreation ground going forward, and to appoint a councillor to the planning working group.
It's in court.
Okay. Anything else on the next agenda that the leaflet potentially?
Yeah, if we're not in the.
I'd like to add something, if I may. If you're contacting former councillor Beadle, don't worry, I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Is it just correspondence?
I think it would, yeah, I'll
Email
message
it.
you, yeah.
The date of the next meeting, the expected date of the next meeting is the 11th of March, which is a Wednesday. Okay. Right, we have a confidential topic. To resolve that under the Public Bodies Admission to Meetings Act 1960, as extended by Section 100 of the Local Government Act 1972, the public and accredited representatives of newspapers be excluded from the meeting for the following items of business, on the grounds that it involves the right of disclosure of exempt information as defined in Part 1 of Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act. Need a proposal for that?
So I don't understand, what's exempt about the neighbourhood plan survey and exempt?
The trouble is, it's very hard to explain without ruining the reason why I put it in the confidential section. But we can't make any decisions anyway until we're not in the pre-election period. But there are good reasons for it being in such.
So